In this clip, we'll have a brief introduction to anti-collision settings within WellSeeker Pro. First thing you need to do is select either a plan, a survey, actual wellbore or planned wellbore that you want to be your reference well, i.e. what you want to scan against offsets. In this case, I've picked a survey on an actual well. The next thing you need to do is go to the operator level of that particular well it's associated with and go to the properties. In the operator properties, you'll have your anti-collision settings section. This is where you set up your scan method, error surface, warning types, sigma level of the scan. And once you're happy with your settings, hit apply. Once you've done that, select your survey, plan, or actual wellbore or planned wellbore, and we're going to select the offset wells that we want to scan it against. So in this case, we go to select offsets. This opens up the select offsets dialog, and so you can toggle plans on and off and surveys if you want to. In this case, I'm just going to select all of the actual wellbores, i.e. wells that have already been drilled on this pad for scanning against. Hit apply. Next, I'm going to go and run an anti-collision report. So we have our survey selected. Go to reports, anti-collision report. In this, we can select whether we want to output as PDF or XL or text file. We will select what columns we want enabled within that file and various different options in terms of the report layout. In the interpolate area, we can set the interval at which it's interpolated. In this case, I'll make it every 100 foot by default. I'll make it 30 foot for every single. And a depth from and to functionality. Include final station, include stations. You can also change the color of the report to whatever you would like it to be. Got the options for extra colors in here. Or for the XL report, you can change the colors there. Page setup can be portrait or landscape, and you can have print options to print this directly or save the report. I'm going to now go create, and this opens up the PDF report within the PDF viewer that's installed with the software. You can use the left and right arrow keys to toggle through, and we can see our report here with the anti-collision summary and results of our scan. As well as the anti-collision report, there are a number of plots we can use for anti-collision purposes. You can select these by going to plots, and you have the four here. Spider plot is not necessarily an anti-collision plot, but it is basically a plan view plot with a TBD slice functionality. So by pressing the plus and minus keys, you can, in the top right corner here, see that my TBD is increasing or decreasing depending whether I press the plus or minus keys, and the plot is updating based upon that. So you can now see that I'm at a certain depth where all the wells start to diverge, and you can do a very quick eyeball view of how much these plans vary and wells differ from each other based upon the depth. That's the spider plot option. Next, we'll look at the ladder plot. So the ladder plot is a center to center distance plot. Effectively, it puts all of your offsets on here. You can zoom in on a particular section for a better view. Break it down to 100 feet. And then once you have it on the scale that you want, you can then use the left and right arrow keys, or you can scroll along this bar at the bottom for a better view and see where the wells separate in terms of center to center distance. Another plot we have is the separation factor plot. This looks at the whole from surface to the end of your well and shows you the warning level. So this is based upon a scan where you set your warning levels at operator level, and based upon these levels you'll see when other wells cross that boundary. And the final plot is the travelling cylinder plot. This can be zoomed in and out just like any other plot. You can change all the functions on it and labels and things like that, much the same way you would on other wells. You can also turn on and off the ellipses of uncertainty. Another function within, specifically for the travelling cylinder plot, is if you go to the anti-collision settings, you can select the interval of interpolation, the depth range from and to, and also limit distances and the default travelling cylinder reference, whether it be north or high side. So now that we've changed this, if I go in depth labels, we'll see that it starts at 6,000 feet. Another anti-collision function that we have is the real-time anti-collision dialog. If you open this, then all of the offsets associated with that well that you currently have selected, or in this case surveys, are in the list of anti-collision results. You can set up the max distance from plan and max distance to offset well, as well as calculating separation factors and comparing to your limitation, your minimum separation. If they fall without these limits, it will be flagged up in red. This can be coincided with the 3D plot also. If you are centered on a survey, as you move up and down that well, this point of interest will update, and as such, the anti-collision results will also update. That completes the very brief overview of anti-collision functionality within WellSeeker Pro.